Gamer Grade.
What is up guys, as usual it's Jay, and in this video I'll be showing you a pure tactics and skill based method to easily beat the Seven Ashina Spears Samurai mini-boss. If that sounds good to you, then make sure to punch that thumbs up real good. The quickest way to get to him is by travelling to the Ashina Castle Reservoir Idol. From here you want to run down the steps and run straight past all the enemies. Run behind the tree in the corner, double jump on top of the wall, then crouch immediately to avoid detection. Remaining on top of the wall, make your way over to the grapple point, keeping to the right. Then face out toward the canyon. Jump and grapple to the point on the tree, which propels you forward, so keep spamming the grapple button while looking up and to the left, to grapple to the point located on the ledge. If you find this boss very challenging, you can stealth behind him remaining undetected, and remove a full health bar before battle begins. Bear in mind, the two enemies located here and here are easily aggroed if you commence the fight on the long sloping stairs, so it's best to try and keep the battle away from this area and nearer the top. The guy standing here seems to be the one that can aggro the most often. If you find this is a problem, then it's a good idea to take him out before battle begins. And the best way to do this is by following this path, ignoring all other enemies. The aim of this tutorial is to show you the full repertoire of moves this mini-boss performs, and how to skillfully mitigate them to your advantage in combat engagement. For this reason, I won't be stealthing a health bar or cheesing any tactics. I've also taken out all enemies that can possibly be aggroed for the purpose of this video, so I won't be rudely interrupted during the process. Okay, starting with his two perilous moves, the first is a low sweeping attack that always starts from the left of the screen and swipes over to the right. Ideally, this attack should be jump kicked by double jumping, as this will lead to both health and posture damage. You can also work in a few additional hits while in the air and just after landing. This sweeping attack can also be simply jumped over or dodged, but his HP or posture will not be affected, so timing the jump kick and counter is preferable. His second perilous move is a thrusting attack which he performs in 3 variations, the last of which requires slightly different timing. The first, he will twist backwards to his left with his spear tilting skyward just above head level. As soon as you notice this, make sure to Mikiri counter, which will deal a large amount of posture damage. If you haven't yet unlocked the Mikiri counter skill under the Shinobi Arts tree, then make sure to do this now, as it's an invaluable skill you'll be using throughout the entire game. You will also want to unlock Shinobi Eyes as soon as possible, which increases the amount of posture damage inflicted with each successful Mikiri counter, making this battle and many others much quicker and much easier. For the best early game farming spot for both Sen and experience, check out my early game farming guide, which I'll link in the description. The second version of his perilous thrust, he keeps his spear pointing to the ground and will perform several thrusts in a row. Again, as soon as you see the perilous symbol appear, perform a Mikiri counter. This will stop the series of attacks in its tracks while dealing a heavy amount of posture damage. The third version, you'll notice he takes several steps backwards before running forwards again, thrusting towards you to try and impale you. Again, Mikiri counter is your answer. However, with this variation, which is easily recognised by his several steps backwards before performing, you'll want to delay countering him until he starts running forwards again. Countering him too early will miss his attack. If you find the timing of this difficult, try spamming the counter button several times to increase your chances of catching the countering window when it presents itself. Okay, so that's all his perilous unblockables covered and countered. We will now move on to the standard attacks which he performs most often. He performs a highly telegraphed sweeping attack which always starts from the left of the screen and finishes to the right. Just before he performs this move, he'll rotate his spear above his head a couple of times, giving you plenty of time to prepare for a perfectly executed deflect to deal some posture damage. While he's spinning the spear over his head, he's also vulnerable to attack, so feel free to get in a strike or two if you're quick, while focusing on perfectly timing the upcoming deflect. He also performs a very quick upwards vertical strike where he scrapes his spear along the ground to his right side, then quickly swipes upwards towards the sky. If you can time the deflect on this move perfectly, it will often stun him as shown here, allowing you to attack without retaliation. However, if you're unable to get the stun after this attack, he'll jump high into the air and perform a powerful overhead double-handed ground smash. This move is another highly telegraphed opportunity to time a perfect deflect, so make sure to do this when you can. Remember, if your posture bar is too high, simply hold down the block button to quickly diminish the build-up. If your posture is repeatedly broken, then you'll be unable to attack or defend yourself, so periodically keeping your guard held high will prevent this from happening. He will also perform a double-handed overhead attack which comes up over his right shoulder and slams down into the ground. If you can perfectly time the deflect on this move, then there's a good chance of stunning him, opening a window to damage his HP and posture. The rest of his moves are easily blocked, dodged or deflected. The only times you'll be able to whittle down his health is by getting in free hits when he's vulnerable, either when he's stunned or performing wind-up animations. However, since his posture bar recovers relatively slowly, then all you really need to do is master countering the perilous attacks while blocking everything else. Using this method alone, his posture will break pretty quickly. Here's the full combat sequence of how I defeated him, performing both death blows without stealth, giving you a good idea of how the battle should play out when just using Mikiri counter and deflections. have any useful tips of your own for defeating this boss, please let us know in the comments below. Please bear in mind, this guide purposefully focuses on pure combat tactics and skill, rather than cheesing the win. If you found this guide useful, please hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing if you would like to see more content from Gamer Grade. Every like and sub helps me tremendously, and will allow me to create more kick-ass content in future. I'm Jay, peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.